SOUS-TITRÉ.
So let's talk for a moment about the technical issues. Can you elaborate on your working process and talk about some of the technical problems that you have creating a piece using silk screen, using printing with plexiglass, doing reverse glass work?
Well, it is complicated, but I'm getting to a point where I know what I'm doing. Everything is set up. I used to it, And at the start, it's complicated. It's complicated to print on a smooth surface, like a plexiglass is complicated.
Right.
Yeah, especially for the registration of the image, because my painting are in two parts, so I have to be well and straight the image, well and straight printed, So but it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Today my main problem is to find money to work, because I need to buy some paint and some paper. I just bought AD, my gallery from Zurich, bought me a plexiglass painting, so I could buy some materials for working again. Yeah.
Are you working with inks or with paint or both?
The acrylic.
Acrylic.
Yeah. It's regular paint, acrylic paint. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay. So your work involves like what you term accumulated layering.
Yes.
Of the printing. And how do you develop that briefly? Not to get into your trade secrets.
No. It just at one point I started silk screen in Montreal because I was living next to a shop, t-shirt shop where they were printing t-shirt. Yeah. And at one point I was recuperating the image into the New York Times Sunday paper, and I cut the image, and after that I did photocopies of them, like in color and all. But silk screen, I could print out the color I want, and I asked the guy to get me four frames, and I started to print one image at a time. And then I like when you go in nature, everything is interconnected. You don't have like a tree, you don't have like a bird, you don't have like the river. It's all connected at the same time. Yeah. So I want to get rid of the time. I want to break the time, linear time, to get into some kind of quote eternity. That's why I'm using also. I said already, images from different. It could come from the Mayan, it could come from the Hindu, it could come from Japanese. If I put them together, I'm getting like a world expanded world. More interesting for me.
Well, in that sense, what you're indicating is that the principle of time is really a human intervention on nature, in a sense, or an attempt to correspond to it, but with not from the organic side of the mind, but more from the rationalistic point of the mind. right and left brain, etc.
Yeah.
Which is really, in many ways, an imposition of human reality upon the natural world.
Yeah, because right brain. I mean, I think we went with you to see the Leonard Schlein at the Open Center, the alphabet versus the goddess. I think we went together. I don't know, because he's talking about that left brain, right brain. Yeah,
right.
And we only thinking about with the left brain, and the right brain is not so much in use. That's why I like images so much. But I like text also. You know, I'm reading a lot of books, and I'm good in both. I'm happy in both. Yeah. But there's more energy into image because it's there. You know, just like you cannot escape it. It's in front of you. And I seen an interview on TV, and there were a porno actress, and she wrote a book about her experience as a porno actress. And in fact, she says she liked it, and so. But she was next to a writer, and the writer said, "No, the writing is much better. Look at read that, and it's much stronger." But I don't believe so. I mean, I think we're more connected with the body, with images. You know, that's why all religion have also so many images in the church and all that, because they need to impress the poor people. You know.
Well, I should reference that here in your studio you have quite an extensive library of literature, especially, and I see that literature is really kind of an organic expression also. I mean, rather than nonfiction being more rationalistically expressed, more developed. So, but your library is a lot of stories which are really organic, from what I see, what I recognize in your library. So that means a lot in terms of. One thing that is meaningful to me as a writer is the difference between definition and description. So what I try to do, because I write about not about dreams, I write dreams literally, and I try to describe them rather than define what they are. So this is something I relate to, why I relate to artists so strongly, and poets, and not so much with people writing nonfiction on a personal level. So, and this is why I feel connected with the art world so strongly, and what you're doing, and the layering in your work especially is very appealing, because it's like the layering of conceptual realities.
Yeah, dreams. Yeah, it's layering of dreams. Yeah.
experiences, especially when you're thinking in terms of eras. So, but by the same token, I want to say, how does the scale of your prints that you're working in, this 1.05 meters,
totally,
how does that relate to your intentional purposes, specifically why you developed that?
Yeah, it happened that in Montreal, I had I cut out some plexiglass sheet. I was doing like a columns, maybe 50 by 50 centimeter, I don't know. And I had some rectangle leftover, one ratio 1:2, and I started to print on those plexiglass, on those leftovers, because I didn't use it for my painting. At first I painted on top of the plexiglass, and then I painted as silkscreen reversed. Yeah, and it happened. I came to New York and I was still using this 35 by 17.5 centimeter small rectangle that I use to frame my work, you know. Around my painting, there is a surrounding, it's still there. And at one point, a friend of mine, Germain Reus, came to New York. He's a painter, a famous painter. And he said, "Oh, Jean-Pierre, could you imagine the impact that could have a larger scale paintings than this small one?" You know? So I get to thinking to myself, and I get into this format of 105. And at one point I say, "Well, what the fuck is it? Why is that 105, not 107?" It happens that my eye is 1.72, and the golden number of my body is 105. You know, so last time we were talking about bees, or you know, like it's like an organic connection that I found to practice. You know, to choose the work, I found this connection. You know? So my body is perfect for my body. I didn't calculate. I didn't use Le Corbusier number, but in fact I found it.
It's recurrent then.
Yeah, I use only this format. That's it.
So it comes out of the organic nature.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
That's how my work is organically built. Exactly, connected and thought, but afterwards. You know, I didn't mean to do that. You know, so.
Also, the question I would say that the color resonances in your work and how those occur to you. I guess I would ask. I'm not asking you to. Well, it depends on how you want to describe it. It's up to you.
But I didn't get
color resonances. Like,
yeah,
you know,
understand.
There are the reds and blues, but the reds and blues in your work they work together. They're harmonious.
Yeah, I'm working with harmony.
So that's good.
Yeah,
harmonies. Yeah.
But you know, I have 2 or 3 color master. Of course, is Matisse and Roscoe. I really love the harmonies of Roscoe and Soutine. You know, but
Soutine.
Yeah, I love, and especially for the energy of life. Is there, you know, life is there. It's like a sperm. It's like sperm. It's ejaculating. You know, it's like jouissance. You know, and the color must be like that. But first of all, the reference to art. Then there's a reference to Mexico, to Egypt. You know, when you go into the tomb in Egypt, the ceiling are blue. And you enter in another dimension, true colors.
I'm sorry, entering into what dimension?
A dimension of infinite dimension with a blue. Okay. Or you can find that in Yves Klein also. You know, Yves Klein work on the blue. Klein. Yeah, so it's changing the wave of your brain, and that's what I'm using in my work. And also I'm using it with my experience through nature. If I see some stone, or if I look, we have this stone. I found it doing canoeing with my girlfriend Olga in Pennsylvania, you know, and I use stone or.
Talk about the stone. That's quite a remarkable stone.
Yeah, there's a river. So it's in Pennsylvania, next to Strasbourg,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. And my girlfriend Olga had a family there, so we went to visit them a few times. And while doing canoeing with our nephew, we stopped on the border of the river and we found plenty of stone like this with incredible shapes. So I took like, I don't know, maybe 20 kilograms of stone, but I couldn't bring them back from New York to here. So I chose a few and I use it in a painting behind us. Yeah. Because this shape is like an arrow. It's so strange. It's just you have a mystery into this shape, also in the weight, and
Our stones many stones have that same shape.
I don't think so. That's the only one.
I see that in your paintings.
Yeah.
I see an occurrence of those.
Yeah. Because it's a shape who doesn't exist, except if you find it. You need to go to make the walk, to make the trip, to find this stone.
Accidental. Yeah.
No, not accidental, coincidental. So you need to go out there and finding it.
Findings are a very interesting principle as well. Things you accidentally occur.
But maybe we can stop there and.
I have more questions. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you want one question more? We have 4 minutes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is it? I stop.
Restart.